What's going on, everyone? Welcome. This is the Warehouse Series. So before we get started today, I do want to say that I think last week's Discord Friday was a really important one. So if you missed it, it's going to be in the description below. Click that link and watch that video, and then chime in on the comment section because there's been a lot of conversation going on over there, and let me know your thoughts on that video. With that being said, guys, I also had a Zoom call it wasn't a Zoom call, it was a Discord call. Thank you, Cool Wolf, for bringing that up in our interview a couple months ago. So I had a Discord call the other day. So all what I ask is for a small donation. That's it, guys. I was on the phone with this person for about 45 minutes, and we're going to do it again next week. So I appreciate it. Thank you. And if you guys are interested in doing something like that to get personal help from me, just message me. Give me a private message over on Discord, and we'll go from there. If you guys are not a member of Discord, please click that link in the description below. It's such a great community over there. And if you want to subscribe to my channel, I really appreciate it. Really close to 5,000 subscribers as of the time of filming this video. All right, so the first picture I'm going to look at is this one right here. And you know, it's funny, from doing this channel and everything, using the techniques that I use, within seconds I could spot out what I would do differently. First, I want to say your first layer is great. We got nice cardboard boxes on the corners. We got these weaker cases on the inside, and we're nice and spaced out. We're not trying to hug everything on one layer. And then we go to the second layer. I didn't notice this before, but you're hanging off the front of the pallet. Don't do that. All right, that's a result of having too many cases in this row. It is better to pull a case out and separate these, have nice spaces going throughout the side of your pallet, than to force cases on and have cases hanging over. Because when you see, we kept that line from our imaginary line from the base is gone now, and now we're using the front of this as our imaginary line, and it's not good. So what I do is a finger's width, guys. If I put my finger underneath that case and it's not a finger's width, that case is going somewhere else. This almost looks like it's about 2 fingers widths. So definitely don't do that. Pull a case out and space these out nicely here. We got a high inside. So anytime you put a case down, let's say we put the Almond Breeze down, then we get this. I am swapping these cases around. And then you start to learn what's higher. Okay, so we know the Almond Breezes are higher. We know these Horizons are a little bit higher than these cases. There's these small, short, stubby boxes, these boxes here that come in the dairy. I immediately throw them towards the middle of my pallet. So anytime I get an Almond Breeze, anytime I get Horizon, they're always going on my corners because they are a higher case. I promise you guys, a higher corner with a lower inside is going to give you a much sturdier pallet. Because look what happens. High inside, low corner. Then we're forced to have that high inside again, low corner, and you force the column stack juices that you don't want to. If we had the low inside, this long lactate right here could have been tying in our corner right here. So if our corner was a little bit lower, if we just swap these 2 cases around, our lactate could have been facing in towards the middle, making this corner a lot stronger than what it was. Also, right here, you don't ever want to do this. You always want to keep your cases level unless it's all the way at the top of your pallet. But midway like this is causing a problem. All right, we want this case to be flat, and it's the result of that high corner or high inside again. Also, I believe these lactates are smaller than these cases. Swap them around. Remember, high corners, low inside. And I also would have faced these cases inwards. Anytime I could get cases to face inwards, I will. And then something like this little green box. So, and this is also knowing your warehouse. So let's say I face cases in. I got this little gap right here. Well, I know I'm going to get some biscuits and this stuff here coming up later that I could squeeze in there at a later time. I like the Chobani on the corner. My sour cream also would have been on the corner. Guys, once you establish that strong base, you could column stack your yogurts on top of it. These big flat boxes I like on my corners because it's all about strong corners. Your Chobani back here should have been right next to this Chobani to keep that nice level corner. We did it here. We got a high corner with a low inside. And see how we could tie cases in? You get that nice slant coming in. It's perfect. And keep that all the way through. You were just topping off your pallet, but just remember to do that all the way through. And I also like the Fairlife up front. Fairlifes are not a strong case to have on your back corner. And it also looks like it's on a slight slant. So once again, that's the result of a high inside and a low corner. I like to keep my Fairlife up here or even in the middle of the cross and T that I talk about, and keep these bigger cases on the outside. All right, guys, that first picture, I know there was a lot to take in, but I just want to call it how I see it. This here, actually, we did a really nice job here. The only thing I would have done different is these Simplies would have been on my back corner. Once again, same with the other cases. I was telling you with the horizon and that, you know, it's a higher case. You want them on your corners. I want these big simplies on my back corner, right where this Minute Maid is. And then the Minute Maid's going to be right here facing inwards. Why inwards? Because we're still going to be tying in. We have a lip here on this case. So if I take that Minute Maid and put it here facing back, well, it's tying in from here to here. It's still going to give us that strong pallet, and it's leaving us an opening to put another case. So back of the pallet, I like to face in and tie and then possibly go back this direction. Front of the pallet, I like to face in. The strongest point of your pallet is in the middle, and that's what I preach on the cross and tee videos. All right, so now we're going to look at a dairy picture that someone posted, and all what I want to tell you guys, what did I just say? Don't force that layer. Look at the nice separation we have throughout these. We're not forcing cases on a layer so we're hanging off. We kept that imaginary line all the way up. We're keeping, we even use slip sheets. Guys, if you have a lot of coffee mates like this, I personally would probably use a slip sheet. This is a lot of coffee mates. These are hard to stack and they're not good to stack on. So using the slip sheets is going to give you that stability. But what did I just say in the previous dairy pictures? It's all about those high corners and low insides. See how we got our high corners? All the way around this pallet, we put our nice strong cases on the corners and we put the low insides. So important. This person did a really nice job, and thank you for posting your work. All right, guys, someone put this on Discord, and any pictures you guys take, I like to use it as a learning thing. I told you guys in the past, I don't throw with totes, but I have the restack cross-docking that comes with totes. And I'm telling you right now, if you do not have a lot of totes, stack them up the front of your pallet. So let's say these are the only 3 totes we had. It's going on my front corner. I'm calling stacking them up, leaving as much wood exposed as possible. Now, if we would have done that, all this mayonnaise and all these jars and jellies and stuff, how nicely that would have sat on the wood instead of trying to balancing them on top of these totes that are not level. They got lids on them and they all cave in. They're, you know, they're sunken in the top of the tote. So you leave yourself with a mess like this. You get 3 totes, stack them on the front of your pallet, right on the corner, facing inwards, leave as much wood exposed as possible for all these cases. All right, this one right here, you know, this person's been posting a lot, doing better. All what I want to say is there's only one thing I want to point out right here. Remember, guys, I will preach this until the day I'm done. Strong corners, strong corners, strong corners. If I come up and my broth is right here, move it. Move the broth and drop this whole entire layer down, and you would have your strong corner. That broth would go on my jack, on the battery, on the platform of my jack. It would go anywhere. I would move it, and this whole corner would have been dropped right on top of my flour, or even move the flour as well and drop it all the way down on top of this if you have another one of these right next to it. It's all about nice, strong, level corners. Don't be afraid to move a case or 2 to make it happen. Right here, once again, side view of that picture, and we did. All right, we do have another. So that's what I would have done. I would have moved the flour out and the broth out. I would have dropped this whole corner straight down, and we would have been a nice, strong corner. The only other thing I want to point out on this side picture is separate your cases. Because even though most of your cases on with these buckle, they will rip and they will break. And this case is flexing. So all what that would have been is just taking this row right here and separating it. Nice spaces between your gaps and this strong corner, and you would have been perfect. All right, guys, another picture that you guys posted. Like I said, everything is a learning tool from all your pictures that you put on there. So we're held up in congestion. We got people selecting quantities. Maybe our next pick is up here. This is the time you utilize your time wisely. Don't just sit here staring at the people waiting for them to get done. Maybe you have a part of your pallet that was not working properly. Well, this is the time that you want to use that time to go back and fix your pallet and make sure that it's going to be a lot better than what it is. So definitely utilize your downtime really well while you're waiting in the aisle. All right, another one I just want to, guys, I don't throw in the freezer, but I almost guarantee I would do it exactly like this. Once again, we get these on cross docks. So I know that these ice creams get a little frost on them. They get a little slick, you know. So what do? We put our problem cases all in one corner. I like it. It's almost like what I do with my stuff over in the dairy and dry as well. I keep it towards the front corner and it works out well. And then we got this nice big box tying everything in. But why separate this ice cream all around for more slippery surfaces? Keep them all together. All right, so there's a few things that I see on this picture here that I would do differently. It's not a badly done pallet. I just would do differently. And I think you said that you don't usually throw into dry. So right here, when you face a case inwards and you have a hole like this and you know your cases and you know you're not getting small cases, I'm going to keep going this direction until I either equal or get pretty close to this over here. So we got 2 cans. It looks like chunky soup and maybe some spaghetti sauce going this way. I would have took 2 more cases and went the same direction. That way I get a little bit, and then if they're bigger cases, it closes this gap is pretty much what I'm getting to. All right, so it closes the gap, and then I will look for my opportunity to tie in this way. I like the slip sheet. I don't know if you're new over there. I thought you said you don't usually throw in dry. Don't ever put these Ben's rice on a corner, and don't ever put them on their sides. Even this one here, I wanted to put there. They suck because you have weight on top of it. Now, if I had all lighter cases coming on top of it, then the Ben's probably wouldn't be it wouldn't be that bad in the corner. But I always put these in the middle. I will even call them, stack them up the middle, and I'll build around them. They're bad boxes. They fall apart. They crush really easy. By the time this gets to the store, this is probably going to be flat. That's how bad they are. I've seen cases at the stores when I've been in the stores. Couple cases, this and the Nors. Don't ever put the Nors on their sides. Don't put Ben's on their sides. Keep them upright. This is just that part of the cross and tee that I talk about. Anytime you get a big flat case like this, I love it in the corner facing in. Other than that, it's not a horrible pallet. It's actually a really nice pallet. We kept our high, low, got cases coming in. Just a few tweaks. All right, guys, and I believe this is the side view of that. Once again, we got Ben's rice on their sides. Not a horrible pallet. We're keeping like cases together. We got a slip sheet in here. Tying a high to a low, just like I said on the first juice pallet, I like my cases level. These you could actually turn on their side. So this is what I look for is like, okay, so the Pillsbury here, if I turn this on its side and snug it right up here, it's probably going to be level with this. All right, and then I'm going to separate this case just a little bit to keep that stronger corner. And then I could even get another case in here to tie in all the way across. This whole entire thing could have been nice and strong and level. That's the only things I would have really done differently on this side. Keeping the Ben's on, like this is fine. Certain cases, see the Nors upright, there's no weight on it. So you're at the top of your pallet, but I still want to do that. These cases just like literally disintegrate by touching them. But other than that, it's not a bad pallet. Keep your line to, like your pickles are not even to the outside perimeter. Guys, that's another important thing. Your first layer should be all the way to the outside of the perimeter because you naturally build level with this. So see how our inside is sunken in right here? It's because we didn't utilize the whole pallet. It's just a natural thing. When you start stacking layer to layer, you're looking at the case below it and not the pallet. So always make sure that you're stacking to the perimeter of the pallet. All right, guys, that's it for today. I hope a lot of these tips help you with selecting. Leave me more pictures over there, guys. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. I appreciate you guys for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you guys like the video. I'll see you next time. Have a great day.